Hello and welcome to the podcast. Now, I made the big mistake of not knowing where to put this guitar afterwards, so this podcast is brought to you part by Rise Kombucha. Experience fruit-forward thinking. Rise.
That's right.
What are we talking about today? I really actually don't even know what's going on.
Well, it's been a crazy week in the vegan community. I think I was telling you a little bit about all the drama that's been happening, all the infighting.
The interweavers, the interstellars.
Well, it's been a lot of back and forth between animal rights activists and intersectional vegans, to be more specific. What did you call them? The inter what?
The interlopers. Well, wait.
I think a funny backstory here is that Lil Veg does not partake too much into the drama of vegan communities and vegan politics. I think that's more my side, because I've been that guy up all night reading all the crazy comments and just seeing all the drama and watching it all go back and forth.
And he's telling me about some sort of interlopers coming to steal sectionals away from vegans. That's why we bought 2 couches to make a sectional, because the interlopers stole all our sectionals.
Oh my God, I'm dying. But
are you okay?
Yeah.
You said you're dying.
I'm okay. I'm dying of laughter because you cracked me up. Yeah. Are you going back to our theme song?
Sorry, guys. So okay. Well, you wanted to talk to me about this interlopers. So what's going on with them?
So there's been a lot of drama, and I would just say it's like between a certain group of animal rights activists who. It all kind of started off, just to give a little bit of backstory, with James Aspey, obviously a very famous animal rights activist and a well-known vegan in the community. He used a term which he's used before in the past many times. Many activists have used it before in the past. It's been a known thing that we, when I say we, animal rights activists, compare what is happening. Sorry, that's the wrong word. When trying to explain what is happening to the animals, the word Holocaust has been brought up as a way of explaining what it is that is happening to the animals. And what is happening now is people are getting upset because they are saying, well, the term the Holocaust is specifically for, the Holocaust that happened in World War II in Germany, Nazi Germany. And that should not be something that should be used when speaking about animals, because of the fact mainly that this is going to kind of trigger traumatic, experiences and thoughts and emotions for people who had family and, friends, or just basically came from that type of history, So it's a bit of a touchy subject, I'm sure, as you can understand, because animal rights activists do believe that the word Holocaust, by definition, does totally align with what happened in the Holocaust. But then you have people who are saying you can't be using those terms, because they could be not effective, they can turn people away from veganism, and because of the pain and trauma that it brings to people who were personally affected by it.
I don't think you can compare losing your sectional couch to the Holocaust, honestly. I don't know why you would. It's not even close.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone stole your sectional, and now you're saying it's the Holocaust? Relax, Donny.
Oh, wow. But yeah, so
what does this have to do with couches? I'm serious. What's going on? I'm so lost.
I know.
When you talk with that slow rhythm like you just did.
Because I have to think my words out, because it's important. I have to say what's politically correct. You were hypnotizing me. I have to say what's politically correct. I saw you falling asleep.
You were hypnotizing me. I was like, all of this for a couch? Just return it.
So yeah, but basically what it is what's crazy is that it's vegans who are fighting amongst vegans about terminology that should be used. And it's a very valid discussion. It's a very valid conversation. and I'm understanding where the conflict is coming from. I understand both sides of the story. But again, in terms of, instead of like talking about that, it's more about, to me, what's kind of interesting is the fighting that's just happening within the community. And
so while vegans are fighting each other, the slaughterhouse workers reign supreme. The slaughterhouse owners.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Reign supreme. They're like, yes, fight amongst each other. I just imagine it like a bunch of vegans fighting each other, and then the meat industry is just like, guys, look, they're doing it to themselves.
That's the unfortunate truth.
Yes.
That is the unfortunate truth. We end up looking crazy to non-vegans. We end up looking crazy to our own community. We end up just basically being in a weird place that we don't need to be in, because we should all be on the same team. We all want the same thing, which is justice and peace for all beings, animals, humans, and everyone we share this planet with. But the way that we go about things, of course, everyone's going to have an opinion on it. Is it bad? Is it good? Is it doing more harm? So those are some of the things I think that we could definitely touch upon today. Like when non-vegans hear animal rights activists saying things like Holocaust when describing animals, is that going to turn them off more towards veganism, or is it going to kind of help them make a connection? What do you think? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, what was the question?
You killed me. What I was saying is, do you think that using terms like Holocaust when it comes to describing what is happening to animals, when you're speaking to a non-vegan and you say, well, what's happening to the animals is a Holocaust, do you think that's going to make them say, man, these activists are totally insane, I want nothing to do with them or veganism? Or is it going to make them kind of make a connection that what is happening to the animals is actually kind of like a Holocaust? So I'm trying to say from the outside looking in when doing outreach, because that's what it comes down to. Are we being effective when we're talking to non-vegans and trying to convert them?
Let me answer your question with another question. What do you think about it? You obviously seem to have strong opinions about the matter.
Well, that's a funny thing. Again, I find there's arguments to both sides, of course. At the end of the
Obviously,
day,
that's why there's a feud happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Because both sides have arguments.
Me personally, so if you're asking my personal opinion, when it comes to language, because that's what we're really talking about, the language that we should be using as vegans, as an activist, when talking to non-vegans, we're trying to get them over to our side. We're trying to get them to see what it is that's happening, make the connection, and eventually go vegan themselves, right? So I think language is really important. And I personally, when I'm doing outreach, I'll use language that they can actually kind of connect with, So instead of saying slavery, I'll say these animals are enslaved. Instead of saying it's a Holocaust that's happening, I'll say it's like a mass killing. I'll say stuff that the words.
It means exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it does mean exactly the same thing.
A synonym.
Yeah.
A synonym of the word.
So yeah, that's it. Anyways, we can go back and forth all day about, should you be using these words? Should you not be? To me, I think just...
And the hell of it is, all these animals that are dying, they don't even speak language.
That's right.
They don't even speak English. So they don't care.
That's right. Or any language that you're having this discussion in. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have their own language.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying...
we don't understand.
I'm saying people might be having this discussion in, Spanish and German.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, they don't speak the human language of,
Yeah. So they don't care if you say Holocaust. They don't care if you say that they were murdered or slaved or raped or whatever you say that they don't care.
Exactly.
They just want it to stop.
Exactly.
So in the famous words of Donny, you're making it about us. We can't make it about us.
Agreed. 100%.
And Donny says that. And he sometimes he says that, but then other times he makes it about him.
What?
And then I'm like, and I always use it against him.
That's funny. Just gonna grab this delicious rice kombucha here.
Brought to you by Rice Kombucha.
Sponsored. So,
sorry.
I think more what I wanted to talk about today on today's podcast, Vegan as Fuck podcast, episode 4.
Or 5?
I think it's 4.
Is it 6?
What I wanted to talk about more so than anything is how much energy people are really putting into fighting each other, calling each other names.
It's not that they want to fight each other. It's that just when you have an opinion about something and then someone else has an opposite opinion, it's like in our DNA to make them like, to try to convert them to have our opinion also.
I agree.
And humans have been doing this since the beginning of time.
That's right.
They're like, I believe in this Lord and Savior. Yeah. And then they come to your strange land and you see that you're worshiping someone else and you're like, whoa, why don't you worship my guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's this guy now?
Exactly.
I have a guy first. You're going to worship him now. And then they force you to, through many ways, like Holocausts, basically what it is.
That's right.
We don't believe in who you're worshiping and your beliefs.
Yeah.
So we're going to...
But I think
am I making any sense?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm just creating.
No, you're literally exactly on point. And what's happening is that's what it is nobody wants to agree that the other person is right. Or I think, but to me, what's crazy is more so like the way that certain people, so we'll just say who it is. It's James Aspey, who's again, a very famous activist. And I think where people were taking the most offense within this whole thing that was happening was his attitude when responding to people like, no, I'm going to call it what it is and I don't care what you think. And I think that's what riled up what you would call the intergalactics, which are intersectional vegans. That's what riled up the intergalactics because no one wants to be dismissed when you're bringing up a valid point.
The interceptors.
By the way, like just a backstory, because Lil Veg has been coming up with every possible interword when I'm trying to describe to him what's happening.
This word intersectionals. It's so random. It's like those darn intersectionals. It's like what's such a weird word, Intersectionals. Yeah,
but
what does it have to do?
Well, listen, intersectionality. There's intersectionality, I believe, is a word. No, there's a lot of valid points, and I align myself with a lot of their views. Actually, how oppression is kind of all connected through so many different social justice situations. And when it comes to veganism and animal rights, it's all connected. All types of oppression is connected. So I do agree with intersectionals and their viewpoints, but I also understand from animal rights activist standpoint what it is that they're saying. And
Yeah, because that's what okay, so you'll be an intersectional.
For today.
And I'll be
animal rights activist? Yeah, let's do that.
And then we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. And both of us, by the way, none of us are educated. And it's the uneducated people that have the most opinions.
It's true. That's so funny. It's true. We're like low level. We're not so deep into the politics and the theories and all this stuff. We're just vegans. We just don't want to hurt any animals.
I think? Guess what? So, like I said, as a unintersectional.
Yeah.
So their point of view is that they're saying, use the words like they are, because that's what it means. The Holocaust, it's not about what happened to Jewish people, because there was previous Holocausts before that to other nations.
Yes.
So it's just that one was like the biggest one and the most recent one.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why it's like the Holocaust.
It is the Holocaust. And I think what
is happening to the animals is exactly the same.
100%.
Except it's not to humans. But if you're saying that you're not allowed to use human words, like if you're saying that the Holocaust belongs to humans only and it doesn't apply to animals because that's for human suffering, then that's a speciesism way of thinking.
That's right. Good term. Good for you.
Because we're supposed to be all, if you're not speciesist, then you're like, hey, animals doesn't matter. Human could get raped, an animal can get raped. It's the same thing.
100%.
Right? Because it is like that, But when we're brought up to be inherently speciesist,
That's right.
We are brought up to be like that. And then so it ends up being this whole debate of like, you can't say that about animals because it happened to humans. And I know that human. My grandma was in that thing. And you can't say that. It's like, okay, your
exactly
grandma
what's
was in it,
happening.
but these animals are in it also right now, currently, as we speak. They're dying. They're being raped. And do you think they care? They're like, you think they care? Like, oh, I'm being raped right now, please. I hope no one's saying that it's rape though. I don't want to offend anyone.
That's
They're not thinking about that, the animals. They're thinking about stop this rape.
Right.
Stop this murder. Stop this Holocaust. Stop this thing. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
And they're saying that they want they're not going to stop saying those words just because humans don't want to say that, because it doesn't matter if you're human or animal.
I agree.
These things are,
and I think what it comes down to really more than anything is that, can you compare what is happening to animals like physically inside of these farms and slaughterhouses? Can you compare that to like emotional trauma that it's causing people because of words are being used? And that's what I think is like, whoa, what's happening to animals is the sickest, darkest thing to ever happen to any being. And so in this
people
world.
Are saying that too, right? Like, I'm sure there's arguments about like, okay, it offends you, but
what's happening to the animals?
That animal's being tortured right now. It hurts way more than being offended. You know?
Exactly. So that's where it's like, I see both points to it 100%. You know, that's why to me, I always took the stance that like, you can't just argue to the death for one side or the other. And that's what I noticed everyone doing. Like, they're all in on one side. And my whole like kind of viewpoint throughout the whole thing was like, hey, just try and take a bit of a middle ground, understand everything that's happening, and then go ahead and advocate for animals the way you see fit, you know? So
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like to delve in these matters.
Yeah.
I just like to drift on by through the world.
Yeah, this is not Lil Veg topic, but I applaud you entering this sphere, you know, and like getting into the
this
politics.
This is not what Lil Veg is all about. Politics.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's a good topic. It's a good conversation to have, and I think the most important thing is we should all grow from it. You know, like learn that. Hey,
what are you growing?
Well, homegrown? Growing some more knowledge and experience and how
to on a little something homegrown. What's this plant here, by the way?
How to deal with conflict and stuff.
When did that plant get there?
Yeah, shout out to our new setup, by the way. Have we even talked about that here yet today?
I just wanted to change the subject because I hate when Donny talks.
This is the best podcast ever because you actually hate me in all reality.
So what? Okay, so we spoke. That's all we wanted to talk about for intersectionals. Intersexuals?
No, we're going to talk about a few different things today. But yeah, there's the drama in the community. It had to be talked about.
So the drama in the community.
Yeah.
Intersectionals.
And there's more to it than that. I think there's also like influencers, people who dedicate their lives to spreading the message. They're activists, they're influencers.
But I think that like that kind of language and that kind of like paralleling the animal industry to
human experiences,
to the Holocaust and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what made me go vegan in the first place. So it's like,
there you go.
If not for that, maybe I would have been like, oh,
that's right.
Let's go eat some whatever,
Yeah, exactly.
Because of using those things, it made me click to my brain like, we learned about the Holocaust in a history class. That was gruesome, pretty gruesome stuff.
Yeah.
What? It's still happening to animals right now? Mm-hmm. Better stop eating animals.
Exactly. Because they are being gas chambered alive, and
a lot of people are because I went in the comments. I was like, what is this? What are the sectionals talking about now?
The sectionals.
I was like, what's going on here? I actually needed. I was shopping for a new couch for the office, so I was like, let me go take a look and see if anyone's selling
a sectional.
So I was looking through the comments, and then I saw people like using the definition of Holocaust, which was like,
it's
have your phone on you?
I don't. It's great. Like a slaughter on a mass scale.
Yeah, slaughter. Yeah, that's what it said.
Which is slaughter is actually the term used for animals.
Yeah, slaughter on a mass scale. That's what the word Holocaust means. Yeah. And then I saw some of the interlopers saying, when someone tells you that they're offended about a word, don't throw a dictionary at their face.
Right.
They're saying stuff like that, and I'm like, but it's. That's the definition.
Right.
But it's true. Yeah. Like I get it. If someone's offended, you know.
Yeah. It is by the definition. It is the definition of the word. But what they're saying is just use another word because there are many other words.
Yeah, but
to
then
describe what is happening to animals.
but then it ends up being like, okay, don't say the word rape. Say artificial insemination.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be lovely to make up a magical, scientifically sounding word that completely hides and makes, because when you say artificial insemination, that sounds like doctors and procedures and everything's clean and crisp and clear and under control.
It's a term like humane slaughter almost.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the sugared
artificial insemination. It's like, oh, I'm down for that too. You know, it's like it sounds good. It doesn't sound like rape. You know, when you hear the word rape, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. So
rape?
I'll use a word like forcefully impregnated.
Yeah, but that's
I find it's like
it's not between, like, you know? Crude enough. You know, it's too like for impregnated. It's like it's too intelligent. Because when you're dealing with people that eat animals, you have to. It's like you're talking to a caveman. Right? Yeah. They're like, meat. I want meat.
True. I feel it's good to dumb it down. It's good to dumb it down. But then when you use words that trigger certain things,
you can't say it like, you know, like at that. Yeah, just like if you don't want to say rape, I don't know. There's still other ways to say it without saying it in a scientific manner.
Yeah, because it could trigger rape victims.
You can be like, they took their hand with a pump full of semen and they shoved it right up her, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You can explain it like that, and then they're like, whoa.
Whoa, yeah, exactly. So there's almost no real good way to explain.
And I feel like when you say it like that, and you say the process, and they lather it up, and you get really descriptive in it, it's more disgusting, right? So it's like,
it's good. Give the details.
It's better. Get the details, you know?
Yeah.
And then you have those weirdos who are like, yeah, tell me more. And you're like, whoa, man. Whoa.
The sickos. I don't really think there's too many people out there that exist.
Well, the trolls, that's how they are. They're just like, oh, yeah, I like it like that.
Yeah,
you're like, whoa, bro.
Because the trolls are super defensive. They'll take anything you say and just twist it.
They'll just say some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But it's hard to understand what these people are feeling and what people are going through. So
and that's the valid like point that's being used, is that if you can avoid triggering people and making them upset, especially people in your community, and you can use other words, should it not be an open discussion that like, hey, number one, these words are triggering. Number two, these words might not even resonate with the people that you're doing outreach to. So is it even effective veganism? You know?
Yeah, but also like when you say the word vegan, you trigger people.
100%, they're already going to be triggered.
You trigger them, and then they're like, "Oh, great, this guy's trying to take away my lunch.
Yeah,
I have to fight him."
Yeah,
you know. And so I think that when it comes to veganism, this is just another way for all these people to stop you from using these words that are like that could be effective to compare, because we know, like, as humans, and we have these words like Holocaust, enslavement, and stuff. Yeah. We know what that's like because we're humans and we've experienced these, and these are to describe human events, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we're using those words to compare it, because it's like the words are the most easiest, like, to understand what kind of suffering is going on. So you're like, you know, it's like the animals are trapped and used to work and used to do entertainment, used for skin, much like being enslaved, you know?
That's right.
And then someone's like, what? How is a slave? And then they can just start saying that, and it's just like, it's just too, like, you can't say that word because they're animals. They're damn dirty animals. So you can't say it. It's like,
exactly. That's speciesism at its finest.
So I don't know.
So that's what's crazy, though, that it's like, it's vegans who are saying, don't use words like that to help save the animals. But wait, aren't you guys vegans too? Isn't that exactly what you're fighting for? But that's where I think intersectionality comes in, is that, like, people are now, because they're fighting for all oppression, human oppression specifically also, you know, and animal oppression, they're fighting against all of it, that they're now saying, well, there's boundaries, you know, like, yeah, we want to fight for the animals too, but not by saying those words, because that's going to trigger this person, you know. But animal rights activists who are more like concentrated fighting on the animals, they're like, well, don't tell me what to do. I'm out here doing this 24/7 every single day.
I'm going to do what needs to be done.
I'm going to do what needs to be done and what I believe is right, you know? And it's mostly animal rights activists who are like going into slaughterhouses and bearing witness and breaking into farms, who are kind of like standing their ground. And then it's more, I would say, like people who advocate online a lot of more plant-based, advocates, as opposed to like the hardcore animal rights activists. So that's what it seems to be.
That are the intersectionals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That time when I said intersectional, I thought I was making up a word, but that's actually the word.
That is the word.
I thought I was saying something else.
It's a term. We should learn more about it, though. Honestly, there's lots to learn.
Intersectional.
There's lots
I've
to
never heard
learn.
of that word before this this debacle.
Yeah.
As I've said, we're not educated at all.
Well, I dabble in a little bit of the politics and the ideology.
Doesn't mean you're educated because you read someone's comments.
Well, I try and stay in the loop. We're learning, and that's the whole other thing too. It's like we end up looking crazy because at the end of the day,
cut your hair and get a real job.
We're just regular dudes, regular vegans. Like
you're fired.
We don't want to cause any harm to any animals. We don't want to contribute to any suffering. And here we are, like caught in this world when, like, whoa, what's going on? What's this? What's this craziness?
We're vegan. You've been vegan this whole time.
This whole time, yes, sir. You've been vegan longer than I have.
Was I supposed to be vegan this whole time to be on this podcast?
You're killing me right now.
Show me the contract. Where is it written?
It's too funny. But yeah, that's that. In some other news.
So basically a bunch of people are speciesists out there. A bunch of vegans are speciesists. And we need to shut them down.
I wouldn't say that.
I said it. So it shall be done. Let's go.
Yeah, we just restarted the whole fight. Yeah, by the way, please, people, don't come for us. We're just a couple guys that don't know much. We're trying to learn.
Look, I'm not trying to be politically correct or anything.
Yeah.
But because I just physically don't know how.
We're not the type. We're not like, we're kind of like.
Nah, but we're just like, I don't know.
We're having fun with the crazy situation. But it's a serious topic. It's very serious.
I'm pretending to be the anti-sectional and you're being the sectional. So that's why it may get rowdy in here.
Yeah, it's going to get crazy. But yeah, they tried to cancel James Aspey. They tried to literally if it was up to the Intergalactics, James Aspey would be like finished, reputation ruined, no more platform. And for a guy who's done so much for the vegan community, who's done so much for the animal rights movement, it's a shame. I'm a big fan of his, but I've also thought to myself while this was happening that he could have been a little bit less kind of like, I don't know. He could have been a bit more sensitive to people's opinions, and he could have been like, you know what, let me sit back and think. But he was very like firm in his stance, which I respect because he's seen a lot and he plans on really changing this world the way we all do. But I feel like there could have been ways that it could have not exploded the way it did within the community. And
I'm sure that's deep down, that's what he wanted, to make it explode.
Because it's bringing the conversation to the table.
It's bringing his name to the table also.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I don't think
because now me and you are having a conversation about this guy that we don't even know. I never met him.
Yeah,
I've never even seen him, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because you're not really in the you don't follow the community the same way I do.
Nah, because
you're Lil Veg. You do it differently.
I just mind my business.
Exactly.
I don't eat my animals. I go. I go volunteer at sanctuaries.
You do.
I go take some photos in some creepy ass places.
That's right.
And that's it. I mind my business.
Yeah, you just do what you need to do, and you stay out of the You stay out of like the drama.
I don't care what that guy over there is talking about.
That's right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care about the sectionals and the anti-sectionals. I just want to eat my food.
You try to eat a delicious vegan food and live in a peaceful vegan world. I agree.
That's so much to ask.
I agree.
That's so much to ask.
And sometimes I wish I had like a similar mentality as you, because I was all frustrated. My emotions.
I just realized. I think why everyone wants to fight so badly about this.
We're all frustrated for sure.
Well, it's just because I just had a thought while you were talking and I was ignoring you. I was like, what if we use all this energy that all these people are using to fight each other to try to convert other people to adopt a vegan lifestyle?
Yeah.
But the reason is because we know that it's going to be, when you're talking about someone that's not vegan, that's like the other people, some people that are not the same as you.
Yeah.
there are other people and it's hard to get through them because they're hard-headed and they refuse to open their minds and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like other vegan people, you expect them to be like you. And so then when you hear about they're vegan, they love the animals, they want animal liberation, but they have like all these different opinions than you. You're like, whoa, wait a minute. I thought you were on my side. What are you talking about now? What are you talking about intersectionals? What is this? No. And then you start fighting because you thought that they were this. You thought that you were the same. You thought that you guys were allies. But then it's like, that's you
exactly
just figured out that like your girlfriend was cheating on you this whole time.
No,
like,
you nailed it.
What are you talking about?
You nailed it.
I thought we were friends, man.
You nailed it.
So I think that's 100%. Why people are going so crazy about this, rather than just like, why aren't we having this crazy thing with like non-vegan people? Just like every time that they take a bite of a hamburger, why are we like not like screaming at them?
We're not putting that same energy.
All this same pressure, and there's not this like worldwide trending war that's happening on the Twitterverse.
Yeah, exactly. No, you nailed it. You literally nailed it. Because it was like a shock. It was a shock that.
Yeah, because
but this is not new though. This has been happening for a while now. That intersectional vegans are saying that animal rights activists are like they're anti-human and they're not spreading that same love and compassion that they are toward the animals, towards their fellow human beings, and that they're just not kind of having their minds open enough as to how you should be advocating to end all oppression, which is, again, there's like a lot of validity to all the points that are brought up to the table here. That's what I believe. But yeah, I understand why the drama did happen, why the divide has happened, and people are very stuck in their ways, and it didn't seem like anybody really was on the fence kind of who switched to one side. Everyone kind of stuck their ground, and that's where we're at.
People unfriended each other. People unfollowed each other.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad.
And when Lil Veg finds out about it, that's when you know.
Yeah, it got leaked. Because you're like, Donny, what's wrong? And I was like, all this drama in the community. I can't sleep at night. I'm reading comments for 6 hours from every side. And I'm
like, oh, great. Don't tell me about it. And then he starts telling me about it.
Yeah.
Great. Now I have to listen to his story. Took him, and then he started getting all riled up, and he was like yelling at me in the car. I'm like, whoa, I'm not even like arguing with you, man. And he's just like, yeah, but the intersectionals and the activists and the vegans and the plant-based. What other words are there?
Yeah, that's kind of the main ones, Hopefully people will be nice to us in the comments and not try and torch us or cancel us, because I think in all fairness,
I'm down to be canceled.
Probably. You're down to be canceled? I think in all fairness, honestly, like, not everyone is so educated on all these terms and all these things that are happening. Everyone should do a better job. But at the same time, there's still like the average person who's just like a good person who wants to live a good life and doesn't know, like, we don't know what most of these terms mean. We're just a couple vegan guys who
we don't know what much of anything means.
We don't know much of anything.
Especially not Donny.
Especially... I see these terms being thrown around all the time, and I'm just like, I don't know what it means. But one thing I'm pretty sure of...
It just sounds like more like people trying to divide us into these weird
categories. It's like fighting racism with racism, fighting prejudice with prejudice. I see a lot of that
dividing us more. Not only was I white before, now I'm a white male. Oh, now I'm a white cis male. Now I'm a white cis intersectional male. And it's just like, what are all these subcategories? And it's just like categories, categorizing everyone, splacking labels on everyone so that everyone could criticize one another.
So we're trying to avoid
because of their labels that everyone's splacking on.
We're trying to avoid the labels. Wasn't that the whole point of like?
That's the whole point. Of like, we're just humans, man.
Kind of growing as a
we're just humans, and then just saying that we're just humans. That's a speciesism way to think. So it's like we just live on planet Earth, man.
We're beings, yeah.
Me, that cow, that piglet, that chicken, that wolf, that frog. We're just living here.
We're all here trying to just coexist. But at the same time, in all seriousness, though, there's a lot to learn about understanding trauma, understanding history, and seeing how we can all help to shape the world to make it a better place. And I'm all for that. I think I can grow so much more as an individual. There's a lot of brainwashing that's happened to us throughout our lives.
What we're supposed to researching history is to learn from its mistakes.
Yeah.
So if someone holocausted someone in the past, you'd want to make sure that you didn't do that again.
That's right.
Right?
100%, yeah.
So
So his lessons.
Boom.
Boom. He did a mic drop. The mic literally almost dropped.
Okay.
Through everywhere. But yeah, I think that's like
What happened?
That's what we wanted to talk about today was infighting.
I was holding that cough the whole time.
Yeah, Lil Veg is under the weather a little bit.
Donny literally, he had a little cold. He passed it on to me. Now, in every sense of the word, Donny literally makes me sick. In every sense of the word.
In every sense of the word.
You make me sick.
I do apologize.
You do. Literally, you sicken me.
You've always been saying it. And now.
Everyone. You sicken me.
So yeah, crazy times. Crazy times. But I believe we're going to all come up stronger because of this. I think everyone's going to learn to be more respectful of each other and, share your opinions, but don't tear the other person down. Don't call them bad names.
If we're being honest with each other.
Don't accuse them.
No one's going to learn from this.
No one's going to learn?
No one learns anything. That's what I've learned. That's what I've learned. In all my years, people just fight and then they forget about it and then they fight about the same thing 10 years later.
Yeah.
And then they forget about it again and then they fight about it again. Because people, like I said, we're supposed to learn from our histories, but we don't. Because no one studies history because it's boring.
Well, I think it's safe to say that the movement is growing. That's why all this infighting is happening. But what was crazy, just to go back to it, and I know we're not supposed to be probably just kind of keep digging deeper into this conversation, but there was a lot of people, for example.
Just to tell you, the more you talk about it, the closer you get us to being canceled.
Yeah, we're probably canceled already because we've been like laughing and joking around about our ignorance to all of this stuff because we don't actually understand a lot of these terminologies, but we just know that we're just regular dudes, couple vegan guys. You're a content creator. I'm an activist, an influencer, and we're like together trying to spread some love and compassion and help out vegan businesses and help out the animals and help people with their health and help communities get access to plant-based foods. We want to change the world the way we know. And we have all the right intentions, but, because we probably said the wrong things today, we might get canceled. We're not controversial people, though. We're trying to learn, honestly.
What'd you say?
I said we're not controversial.
How do you spell it?
Don't do this again.
How do you spell it?
CONT-TRI. I don't know, to be honest.
So, basically, take everything we say with a grain of kombucha. Rise kombucha.
Shout out to our sponsors.
Whenever you're about to say something triggering, I'm just gonna be like, Rise kombucha.
But no, lots for us to learn, lots for everybody to learn. I think it's just the way that we could all go about it could be kinder to everybody. And at the end of the day, I know one thing for sure. Vegans don't want any people to suffer. They don't want any animals to suffer. They want to help this planet. So let's all find a way to do this together and not be at each other's throats. We all want the same thing.
Wait a minute. Speciesism? Wait, I had a thought. Now it's like falling apart.
Shit.
It's like drifting in the cosmos like the interlopers. The intergalactics. What was it?
I don't know.
If you're saying that if you're dismissing someone's being like, if you're like, oh, that guy's offended, I'm going to dismiss what that guy feels because animals are being hurt more because you're trying to be anti-speciesist. Yeah. But then you're not really being anti-species because now you're putting animals before humans.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's another topic. That's something that a lot of people have been saying.
Because now you're saying that you just hate humans so much because you're a human and you're like, I hate all the horrible things we've been doing. So now you put us below animals, therefore becoming speciesist again.
These are some of the valid points that are being said.
That's wrinkling my brain.
That's what I'm saying. It's a never-ending circle of oppression and theories and.
So what you're saying is we should just go oppress people?
Since
it never ends, we should just go. That's what you're saying, Donny. You're saying we should oppress people. He's a white supremacist. Donny's a white supremacist.
Cis male.
He's a white cis male supremacist.
Anti-species.
He's a speciesist / anti-speciesist / interloping
Sectional.
sectional. Oh man, that's our next show, the interloping sectional. And it'll be about a couch
It'll actually be about an intersectional couch.
Actually,
a sectional couch, I mean.
Oh, that's what we should. Okay, we should do another
episode ever. Honestly.
Okay, we should do another podcast where we'll put a green screen.
Yeah.
And we'll be on this sectional.
Yeah.
We'll get a sectional couch in front of a green screen, and we'll be the interloping sectional. We'll put we'll put outer space in the background, and we'll just be floating through space on the couch, talking to each other on the podcast.
I remember the other day when we were in the car and I was telling you about what was happening and those terms you kept throwing out there. I was just dying. You're like, wait, the intergalactic what? Is this a space battle? Like, what's happening?
I was like, yeah, it sounds like a word that's like the intersectionals. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the intersectionals attacked. Like, what?
Oh, man. But it is
only
no
the
joke.
activist James Aspie could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished to Panama on his private jet.
Oh, man.
He actually did vanish. Oh, that's the best part. 1 week passed and I found a new activist. Donny. Vegan as heck.
Oh, my God. I'm gonna die.
Moral of the story, guys. Honestly, we're saying all these like labeling. We're saying all these things, and I'm gonna tell you my honest opinion. Mm-hmm. Fuck the labels. Fuck the record label. We're making our own album, making our own mixtape.
that was the end. That's what you came up with. Yeah,
I don't know, man. Yeah. I like making fun of these.
I know
these terms because it's
it's great. Yeah, being around you because you have a great sense of humor, and you just. It's good that you just kind of are able to crack jokes about everything because it's very serious. But if you just get caught up into the drama and the depression and the anger and the frustration, your life's gonna be ruined.
It's just because like everything in life is just funny to me because it's just all so random.
It is. Yeah.
So I'm like, what are you talking about now? First of all, it blows my mind that we're all alive on this planet. It's like, whoa.
Agreed.
And now you're telling me that we're fighting about a word, like a literally made up sound that comes out of our lips. When you think about it, our lips move and they make a sound, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Our lips move, they make a sound,
yeah.
And then you understand what I'm talking about. It's weird, man.
The fact that we're
here
sitting here on these intersectional couches having
they literally are intersectional because there's two of them, but they're creating a sectional.
Yeah. And the words that we are saying into these microphones. And
then there's these
visual coming from the camera is going to be projected to millions of people all around the world.
There's these devices that are like you talk into them and they like copy your voice, but not exactly. There's like a slight. It's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close.
That's right.
And then you have these cameras. People give me pieces of paper to like point my camera at them.
It's weird. Now they give you electronic transfers, like numbers, digital numbers show up in your account.
In my little device.
Your little device, yeah.
But I can't go anywhere without, or else my life is over.
Yeah, we're
it's
done.
like it's insanity, man. This whole thing, and then people are talking about intersectionals. I'm like, yo, who cares? Like, there's bigger things.
There's people really suffering out there. The animals are suffering. There's people suffering, and we're here fighting on Instagram, social media, having these type of like battles.
But instead of thinking about like, I don't know.
Excuse me.
Like, what are hands, you know? What are these? Whoa. Whose hands are these? What's this? A pole? It's like a metal thing that holds the microphone.
That's right.
I think the biggest thing is like, literally, I point my camera at people and they give me money. Just to point a camera at them.
Good thing I don't have to.
It blows my mind.
He does it for free for me, guys.
No. Nothing on this planet is free, Donald. Your bill will come.
One day.
Your dues will come.
But so what are our final thoughts here? Let's
okay, my final thoughts.
Let's be nice.
As we drift through the cosmos.
Yes.
Pondering our existences. Am I specialist? Am I a specialist speciesist? Or am I just... What is Rise Kombucha? What is kombucha? Actually. Let me see this.
Let's read the label a little bit. Shout out to our
what
amazing
is
sponsors.
Kombucha? You know? It's a drink that you... What's drinks?
Sparkling
you put them in
fermented
your body
beverage.
and they keep you alive? It's so random, man.
Why are we even here?
It's so
What are we
random.
doing alive?
I'm like having a crisis, existential crisis right now. Like, what is this? There's this company, Rise. They make kombucha. They let us drink it on our podcast. They let us drink their kombucha while we talk to each other. It's so random.
Oh, that's what happens when you meet Donald.
Gives you good gut health.
Good gut health.
If you guys are struggling with your gut health, kombucha. I think that's what it's for. Sparkling fermented beverage. Proudly Canadian. Counsigny, Quebec.
Okay, he's
5 cents
he's
refund.
going off on a tangent right now. I think I'll
Brewed
give
in
my
Montreal.
final thoughts here before this episode. I think is starting to wind down.
I'm just getting started.
And I really have to go use the washroom, by the way. So, all that to say, guys, stop fighting with each other, please. We're all fighting for the same thing. We all want, freedom for the animals. We want freedom for the people. We want to help save this planet. I don't think anybody who has compassion in their heart and who wants to create change for this world, I don't think they're sexist. I don't think they're racist. I don't think they're prejudiced. I think that we all have, at least people in this community, should be aligned with these type of mentalities of peace and love and compassion and anti-exploitation and anti-oppression. So please, guys, get back to that. And if you don't believe in that, then don't claim to be a vegan, don't claim to be a good person, and find your way out of this
Where are
community.
you looking right now?
I don't know, everywhere.
The people are there.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
But you're
I'm talking
saying,
to everybody.
guys.
That's my final statement. I have to go to the bathroom. Any thoughts? I'm going to pee my pants. This kombucha's going right through me.
Because you have poor gut health. I have good gut health.
I'm literally going to pee my pants on this couch.
So while I have you here for another 3 hours during this podcast, any final thoughts? Because I didn't hear what yours were, because I was wondering where you were looking the whole time. You were just like, you were looking everywhere. But I'm like, if you're talking to the folks at home are right there.
Sure. Folks at home, you heard my message.
We
And
literally
people-
have a screen. I can see each and every one of you. Jimmy, put that down. Not today. Not today, buddy. What are you doing, Tommy? Put it away, man.
We're out, guys.
Okay, then.
We love you. Peace out.
Podcast over.
No harm intended.
Oh, Donny, what have we done to ourselves?
We're done.